Answer me, stand and unfold yourself.
Long live the king.
Bernardo.
He.
Oh, you come most carefully upon your hour.
It is now struck 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco. Have you had quiet guard?
Not a mouse stirring.
Oh, well, good night.
Hello, Bernardo.
Say, what is Horatio there?
A piece of him.
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
What, has this thing appeared again tonight?
I've seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy, therefore I have entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night.
Tush, 'twill not appear.
Peace break thee off, look where it comes again!
In the same figure, like the king that's dead.
Scholar, speak to it, Horatio.
What art thou? By heaven, I charge thee, speak.
It is offended.
If thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done that may to thee do ease and grace to me, speak to me. Oh, speak.
I was about to speak when the cock crew.
Break we up our watch, and by my advice, let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet. For upon my life, this spirit, dumb to us, will speak to him.
Let's do it, I pray. And this morning I know where we shall find him most conveniently.
Though yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and that it us befitted to bear our hearts in grief, and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe. Yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we with wisest sorrow think on him, together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore our sometime sister, now our queen, have we as 'twere with a defeated joy taken to wife, nor have we here embarred your better wisdoms, which have freely gone with this affair along, for all our thanks. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What is, Laertes?
My dread lord, your leave and favor to return to France, from whence, though willingly, I came to Denmark to show my duty in your coronation. Yet now I must confess that duty done, my thoughts and wishes bend again toward France and bow them to your gracious leave and pardon.
Have you your father's leave? What says Polonius?
He hath, my lord, wrung from me my slow leave by laborsome petition, and at last, upon his will, I sealed my hard consent. I do beseech you, give him leave to go.
Take thy fair hour, Laertes. Time be thine, and thy best graces spend it at thy will. But now, my cousin Hamlet and my son.
Little more than kin and less than kind.
How is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord, I am too much in the sun.
Hamlet, cast thy nighted colour off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Not forever with thy veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust. For no, 'tis common. All that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity.
Aye, madam, it is common.
If it be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam. Nay, it is, I know not, seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, nor windy suspiration of forced breath, together with all forms, moods, shows of grief that can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for they are actions that a man might play. But I have that within which passes show, these but the trappings and the suits of woe.
'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father. But you must know, your father lost a father. That father lost his, and the survivor bound in filial obligation for some term to do obsequious sorrow, but to persever in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief. We pray you, throw to earth this unprevailing woe and think of us as of a father. For let the world take note. You are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility of love than that which dearest father bears his son, do I impart toward you. For your intent in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire, and we beseech you, bend you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest courtier, cousin, and our son.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I pray thee, stay with us, go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you, madam.
Why, 'tis a loving and a fair reply. Be as ourself in Denmark. Madam, come.
Oh, that this too sullied flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. Or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. God, God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Why, Aunt? Why? 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely. That it should come to this. But 2 months dead. Nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king that was to this Hyperion to a satyr. So loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly. Oh, heaven and earth must I remember. But she would hang on him as if increase in appetite had grown by what I fed on, and yet within a month. Let me not think on't. Oh, frailty, thy name is woman. Oh God, I'm a beast that wants discourse of reason would have mourned longer. Married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month. It is not, or it cannot come to good. But break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Hail to your lordship.
Oh, I'm glad to see you well, Horatio, where I do forget myself.
Oh, the same, my lord. And your poor servant ever.
Oh, sir, my good friend. I'll change that name with thee. And what make you from Wittenberg, Horatio?
My lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
I pray thee, do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. Would I had met my dearest foe in heaven, or ever I had seen that day, Horatio. My father. Methinks I see my father.
Where, my lord?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
I saw him once. He was a goodly king.
He was a man. Take him for all in all. I shall not look upon his like again.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw who?
My lord, the king, your father.
The king, my father?
Seizing your admiration for a while with an attent ear, till I may deliver upon the witness of these gentlemen this marvel to you.
For God's love, let me hear.
2 nights together had these gentlemen, Marcellus and Bernardo, on their watch been thus encountered. A figure like your father, armed at point exactly, cap a pie, appears before them, and with a solemn march goes slow and stately by them. This to me, in dreadful secrecy, impart they did. And I with them the 3rd night kept the watch, where, as they had delivered, both in time, form of the thing, each word made true and good, this apparition comes. I knew your father, these hands are not more like.
So where was this?
My lord, upon the platform where we watched.
Did you not speak to it?
My lord, I did, but answer made it none.
'Tis very strange.
As I do live, my honored lord, 'tis true. And we did think it writ down in our duty to let you know of it.
Indeed, sirs, but this troubles me. Hold you the watch tonight?
We do, my
We
lord.
do, my lord.
I will watch tonight. Perchance 'twill walk again.
I warrant it will.
If it assume my noble father's person, I'll speak to it, though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace. I pray you all, if you have hitherto concealed the sight, let it be tenable in your silence still. Upon the platform twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you.
Our duty to your honor.
Oh, my father's spirit in arms. all is not well. I doubt some foul play. Oh, would the night were come. Till then, sit still, my soul. Foul deeds will rise, though all the earth o'erwhelm them to men's eyes.
My necessaries are embarked. And sister, as the winds give benefit and convoy is assistant, do not sleep, but let me hear from you.
You doubt that?
For Hamlet and the trifling of his favor, hold it a fashion and a toy in blood, a violet in the youth of primy nature, forward, not permanent, sweet, not lasting, the perfume and suppliance of a minute, no more.
No more, but so.
Think it no more? Perhaps he loves you now, and now no soil or caudal doth besmirch the virtue of his will, but you must fear his greatness weighed. His will is not his own. He may not, as unvalued persons do, carve for himself, or on his choice depends the safety and health of this whole state. Then weigh what loss your honor may sustain if with too credent ear you list his songs, or lose your heart, or your chaste treasure open to his unmastered inopportunity. Be weary then? Best safety lies in fear. Youth to itself rebels, though none else near.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep, as watchman to my heart. But, good my brother, do not, as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whilst, like a puffed and reckless libertine, himself the primrose path of dalliance treads, and recks not his own reed.
Oh, fear me not. I stay too long. But here my father comes.
Yet here, Laertes. Aboard! Aboard for shame! The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for. There, my blessing with thee. And these few precepts in thy memory see thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast in their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel. But do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new hatched, unfledged comrade. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, bear it that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy. Rich, not gaudy, for the apparel oft proclaims the man. Neither a borrower or a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell, my blessing season this in thee.
Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord. Farewell, Ophelia, and remember well what I have said to you.
What is it, Ophelia, he hath said to you?
So please you, something touching the Lord Hamlet.
'Tis told me he hath very oft of late given private time to you, and you yourself have of your audience been most free and bounteous. What is between you? Give me up the truth.
He hath, my lord, of late made tenders of his affection to me.
Affection? Pooh. You speak like a green girl, unsifted in such perilous circumstance. Do you believe his tenders, as you call them?
I do not know, my lord, what I should think.
Mary, I'll teach you. Think yourself a baby, that you have ta'en these tenders for true pay, which are not sterling.
He hath given countenance to his speech, my lord, with almost all of holy vows of heaven.
Aye, springes to catch woodcocks. I do know, when the blood burns, how prodigal the soul lends the tongue to vows. These blazes, daughter, you must not take for fire. From this time I would not, in plain terms, from this time forth have you so slander any moment leisure as to give words or talk with the Lord Hamlet. Look to it, I charge you. Come your ways.
Shall obey, my lord.
The air bites shrewdly. It is very cold. Oh, angels and
Lord,
ministers,
it comes.
grace defend us. Be thou a spirit of health or goblin damned, but bring with the airs from heaven or blasts from hell. Be thy intents wicked or charitable. Thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet, king, father, royal Dane.
It beckons you to go away with it, as if it did did desire you to go alone, but do not go with it.
No, it will not speak, then I will follow it.
Be ruled, you shall not go.
My fate cries out, still I am called. Unhand me, gentlemen. I say, away. Go on, I'll follow thee.
Let's follow. 'Tis not fit us to obey him.
Yes, have after. To what issue will this come?
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Heaven will direct it.
Nay.
Whither wilt thou lead me? Speak, I'll go no further.
Mark me.
I will.
My hour is almost come, when I to sulphurous and tormenting flames must render up myself.
Alas, poor ghost.
Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak, I am bound to hear.
So art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear.
What?
If thou didst ever thy dear father love,
Oh, God.
revenge his foul and most unnatural murder.
Murder?
Murder most foul, as in the best it is, but this most foul, strange, and unnatural.
Haste me to know it, that I with wings as swift as meditation or the thoughts of love may sweep to my revenge.
I find thee apt. Now, Hamlet, here. 'Tis given out that sleeping in my orchard, a serpent stung me. But know, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul, my uncle.
I, that incestuous, that adulterate beast, with witchcraft of his wit, won to his shameful lust the will of my most seeming virtuous queen. But soft, methinks I scent the morning air. Brief let me be. Sleeping within my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon, upon my secure hour thy uncle stole, with juice of cursed Hebanon in a vial, and in the porches of my ear did pour the leprous distilment. Thus was I, sleeping by a brother's hand, of life, of crown, of queen at once dispatched, no reckoning made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Oh, horrible, most horrible. If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to those thorns that in her bosom lodge, to prick and sting her. Fare thee well at once. Adieu, adieu. Hamlet, remember me.
Remember thee? I, thou poor ghost, while memory holds a seat in this distracted globe. remember thee. Oh, most pernicious woman. Oh, villain, villain, smiling, damned villain, that one may smile and be a villain. Only some sure it may be so in Denmark. Oh. So, uncle, there you are. Now to my word, it is adieu, adieu, remember me.
Lord, my lord, my lord.
What news?
There's ne'er a villain dwelling in all Denmark, but he's an arrant knave.
Well, there needs no ghost, my lord, come from the grave to tell us this.
Why, right. You are in the right. And so without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. You, as your business and desire shall point you, for mine own part, look you, I'll go pray.
These are but wild and whirling words, my lord.
I'm sorry, they offend you heartily. Yes, faith, heartily. And now, good friends, give me one poor request.
What is it, my lord? We will.
Never make known what you have seen tonight.
My lord, we will not.
And but swear it.
Swear.
Never to speak of this that you have heard. Swear by my sword.
Swear.
Oh, by day and night, this is wondrous strange.
And therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But come, here, as before, never, so help you mercy, how strange or odd soe'er I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think meet to put an antic disposition on, that you, at such time seeing me, never shall with arms encumbered thus, or this head shake, or by pronouncing of some doubtful phrase, or such ambiguous giving out to note that you know aught of me. This is not to do, so grace and mercy at your most need help you. Swear.
Swear.
Oh, rest, perturbed spirit. And still your fingers on your lips, I pray. Oh, the time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite that ever I was born to set it right.
How now, Ophelia? What's the matter?
My lord, I've been so affrighted.
With what in the name of God?
My lord, as I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet, with his doublet all unbraced, pale as his shirt, his knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous in purport as if it had been loosed out of hell to speak of horrors, he comes before me.
Mad for thy love?
My lord, I do not know, but truly I do fear it.
What said he?
He took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then goes he to the length of all his arm, and with his other hand thus over his brow, he falls to such perusal of my face as he would draw it. Long stayed he so, and at last, with a little shaking of mine arm, and thrice his head waving up and down, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound as it did seem to shatter all his bulk and end his being. That done, he lets me go, and with his head over his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes, but out of doors he went without their helps, and to the last bended their light on me.
Come, go with me. I will go seek the king. This is the very ecstasy of love. What, have you given him any hard words of late?
No, my good lord, but as you did command, I did repel his letters and denied his access to me.
That hath made him mad. Come, go we to the king. This must be known, which, being kept close, might move more grief to hide than hate to utter love.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we much did long to see you, the need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending. I entreat you both that, being of so young days brought up with him, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court some little time, so by your companies to draw him on to pleasures, and to gather, so much as on occasion you may glean, whether aught to us unknown affects him thus that opened lies within our remedy.
Gentlemen, he hath much talked of you, and sure I am two men that there are not living to whom he more adheres. If it will please you to show us so much gentry and goodwill as to expend your time with us a while, the supply and profit of our hope, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
Both your majesties might, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty.
But we both obey, and here give up ourselves in the full bent to lay our service freely at your feet, to be commanded.
Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz, and I beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son.
I assure my good liege, I hold my duty as I hold my soul, both to my God and to my gracious king, and I do think that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
I doubt it is no other but the main, his father's death and our o'er-hasty marriage.
My liege and madam, to expostulate what majesty should be, what duty is, why day is day, night night, and time is time, were nothing but to waste night, day, and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad call I it, for to define true madness, what is it but to be nothing else but mad? But let that go.
More matter with less art.
Madam, I swear I use no art at all. That he is mad, 'tis true. 'Tis true, 'tis pity. And pity, 'tis true, a foolish figure, but farewell it, for I will use no art. Mad let us grant him then, and now remains that we find out the cause of this effect, or rather say the cause of this defect, for this effect defective comes by cause. Thus it remains, and the remainder thus. Perpend, I have a daughter, have while she is mine, who in her duty and obedience Mark hath given me this. Now gather and surmise. To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia. That's an ill phrase, a vile phrase. Beautified is a vile phrase, but you shall hear thus. In her excellent white bosom these and see.
Came this from Hamlet to her?
Good madam, stay a while, I will be faithful. Doubt though the stars are fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doth truth be a liar, but never doubt I love. Oh dear Ophelia, I am ill at these numbers, I have no art to reckon my groans, but that I love thee best, oh most best, believe it. Adieu, thine evermore most dear lady, whilst this machine is to him Hamlet.
But how hath she received his love?
What do you think of me?
As of a man faithful and honourable.
I would fain prove so. I went round to work, and my young mistress thus I did bespeak. Lord Hamlet is a prince out of thy star, this must not be. And then I precepts gave her that she should lock herself from his resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens. Which done, she took the fruits of my advice, and he, repulsed, a short tale to make, fell into a sadness, then into a fast, then to a watch, thence into a weakness, thence to a lightness, and by this declension into the madness wherein now he raves, and we all mourn for.
Do you think 'tis this?
It may be very likely.
Hath there been such a time, I'd fain know that I have positively said 'tis so, when it proved otherwise?
Not that I know.
Take this from this, if this be otherwise.
How may we try it further?
You know, sometimes he walks 4 hours together here in the lobby.
Oh, he does indeed.
At such a time, I'll loose my daughter to him. Be you and I behind an arras then. Mark the encounter.
We will try it.
But look, where sadly the poor wretch comes reading.
Away, I do beseech you, both away. I'll board him presently. Oh, give me leave. How does my good Lord Hamlet?
Well, God a mercy.
Do you know me, my lord?
Oh, excellent well. Oh, you are a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord.
Oh, then I would you were so honest a man.
Honest, my lord?
Aye, sir. To be honest as this world goes is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
That is very true, my lord.
For if the sun breed maggots in a dead dog, being a god-kissing carrion. Have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk in the sun.
How say you by that, still harping on my daughter? Yet he knew me not at first. He said I was a fishmonger. He is far gone, and truly in my youth I suffered much extremity for love, very near this. I'll speak to him again. What do you read, my lord?
Words. Words.
Though this be madness, yet there is method in't. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave.
Indeed, that is out of the air. My lord, I will take leave of you.
Oh, you cannot take from me anything that I will more willingly part withal. Except my life. Except my life. Except my life.
Fare you well, my lord.
My honoured lord.
My most dear lord.
What of my excellent good friends? Well, what have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune that she sent you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord?
Denmark's a prison.
Then is the world one.
Yeah, a goodly one, in which there are many confines, wards, and dungeons, Denmark being one of the worst.
We think not so, my lord.
Why, then 'tis none to you. For there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me, it is a prison.
Why then, your ambition makes it one. 'Tis too narrow for your mind.
God, I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space. Were it not that I have bad dreams. But in the beaten way of friendship, what make you at Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord. No other occasion.
Were you not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me.
Well, what should we say, my lord?
Why, anything but to the purpose. Okay. I know the good king and queen have sent for you.
To what end, my lord?
That you must teach me. But be even and direct with me, whether you were sent for or no.
My lord, we were sent for.
And I will tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery and your secrecy to the king and queen mold no feather. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, foregone all custom of exercises, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. And this most excellent canopy, the air. Look you, this brave o'erhanging firmament, this majestical roof fretted with golden fire. Why, it appears no other thing to me than a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is a man. How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form, in moving, how express and admirable. In action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god, the beauty of the world, the paragon of animals. And yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me. No, nor woman neither.
If you delight not in man, what Lenten entertainment the players shall receive from you? We coated them on the way, and hither are they coming to offer you service.
What players are they?
Even those you were wont to take delight in, the tragedians of the city.
There are the players.
Oh, gentlemen, you are welcome. Your hands. Come then. You are welcome. My uncle, father, and aunt mother are deceived.
In what, my dear lord?
Oh, I am but mad north-northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
Well, be with you, gentlemen.
Hark you, Guildenstern, and you too. At each ear a hearer. That great baby you see there is not yet out of his swaddling clouts. I will prophesy he comes to tell me of the players. Mark it.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you. When Horatio was an actor in Rome...
The actors are come hither, my lord.
Buzz, buzz.
The best actors in the world, either for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, pastoral, comical, historical, pastoral, tragical, historical, tragical, comical, historical, pastoral, scene, individable, or poem unlimited. These are the only men.
Oh, you are welcome, master. I am glad to see thee well. We'll have a speech straight. Come, give us a taste of your quality. Come, a passionate speech.
What speech, my lord?
I heard thee speak me a speech once. 'Twas Aeneas's tale to Dido.
But oh, who had seen the marbled queen?
Marbled queen.
That's good. Marbled queen is good.
But oh, who had seen the marbled queen run barefoot up and down, threatening the flames with bison rheum, with tongue in venom steeped against fortune's state, would treason have pronounced? But if the gods themselves did see her then, when she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport in mincing with his sword her husband's limbs, the instant burst of clamor that she made, unless things mortal move them not at all, would have made milch the burning eyes of heaven and passion from the gods.
Look, whether he has not turned his color and has tears in his eyes. Prithee, no more.
'Tis well. I'll have thee speak out the rest soon. Good my lord, will you see this player well bestowed? Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can you play the murder of Gonzago?
Aye, my lord.
We'll have tomorrow night. You could for a need study a speech of some dozen or 16 lines, which I would set down and insert in it, could you not?
Aye, my lord.
Very well. My good friends, I'll leave you till night. You are welcome to Elsinore. Now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his whole conceit that from her working all his visage wan, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing, for Hecuba. Oh, what's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy-mettled rascal, peak and can say nothing. No, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Oh, what an ass am I! Yeah, this is most brave, that I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must like a whore unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing like a very drab, a scullion. Oh, fie on't. Oh. About my brain. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have, by the very cunning of the scene, been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks, I'll tend him to the quick. If he but blench, I know my course. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
And can you by no drift of circumstance get from him why he puts on this confusion, grating so harshly all his days of quiet with turbulent and dangerous lunacy?
He does confess he feels himself distracted, but from what cause he will by no means speak.
You assay him? To any pastime?
Madam, it so fell out that certain players we overwrought on the way, of these we told him, and there did seem in him a kind of joy to hear of it. They are about the court, and, as I think, they have already ordered this knight to play before him.
And he beseeched me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter.
With all my heart, and it doth much content me to hear him so inclined. Sweet Gertrude, leave us too, for we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he, as 'twere by accident, may hear affront Ophelia.
Read on this book, that show of such an exercise may color your loneliness. I hear him coming. Let's withdraw, my lord.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. Die, to sleep no more. And by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life, for who would bear the whips and scorns of time when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would these fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought and enterprises of great pith and moment. With this regard, their currents turn awry and lose the name of action. Oh, soft you now, the fair Ophelia. Nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
My lord, that is your honor for this many a day.
Oh, I humbly thank you. Well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
No, not I. I never gave you aught.
My honored lord, I know right well you did, and with them, words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich. But their perfume lost. Take these again, for to the noble mind, rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind.
Are you honest?
My lord?
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty?
Aye, truly. For the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what it is to a bawd than the force of honesty can translate beauty into his likeness. This was sometime a paradox, but now the time gives it proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent, honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do crawling between earth and heaven? We are arrant knaves, all, believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where's your father?
At home, my lord.
And let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell.
Oh, sweet heavens.
If thou dost marry, I'll give thee this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow. Thou shalt not escape calumny. Get thee to a nunnery. Go, farewell. Or if thou wilt needs marry a fool, for wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery go, and quickly too. Farewell.
Heavenly powers, restore him.
I have heard of your paintings too well enough. Now, God has given you one face and you paint yourselves another. You jig, you amble, and you lisp. You nickname God's creatures. You make your wantonness your ignorance. Go to, I'll no more on't. It hath made me mad. I say, we will have no more marriages. Those that are married already, all but one, shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery, go.
Oh, what a noble mind is here overthrown. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye, tongue, sword, the expectancy and rose of the fair state, the glass of fashion, and the mould of form, the observed of all observers, quite down. And I, of ladies most deject and wretched, that sucked the honey of his music vows, now see that noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled, out of tune and harsh. That unmatched form and feature of blown youth, blasted with ecstasy. Woe is me, to have seen what I have seen, see what I see.
Love, his affections do not that way tend, nor what he spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. There's something in his soul, or which his melancholy sits on brood, and I do doubt the hatch and the disclose will be some danger, which for to prevent, I have in quick determination thus set it down, he shall with speed to England.
My lord, do as you please, but if you hold it fit, after the play, let his queen mother all alone entreat him to show his grief. Let her be round with him, and I'll be placed, so please you, in the ear of all their conference. If she find him not, to England send him, or confine him where your wisdom best shall think.
It shall be so. Madness in great ones must not unwatched go.
Now, 30 dozen moons with borrowed sheen about the world have times.
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounce it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many of your players do, I had as lief the town crier spoke my lines. Nor do not saw the air too much with your hands thus, but use all gently. For in the very torrent, tempest, and as I may say, the whirlwind of passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness. Be not too tame, neither, but let your own discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the word to the action. Go, make you ready. Oh, how now, my lord? Will the king hear this piece of work?
And the queen too, and that presently.
Bid the players make haste. Oh, what ho, Horatio?
Here, sweet lord, at your service.
There is a play tonight before the king. One scene of it comes near the circumstance which I have told thee of my father's death. I prithee, when thou seest that act afoot, observe mine uncle. If his occulted guilt do not itself unkennel in one speech, it is a damned ghost that we have seen. Oh, they're coming to the play. I must be idle. Get you a place.
How does our cousin Hamlet?
Oh, excellent, faith. The chameleon's dish I eat the air. Promise crammed. Woo! You cannot feed capons, so.
I have nothing with this answer, Hamlet. These words are not mine.
Nor mine now. My lord, you played once in the university, you say?
That did I, my lord, and was accounted a good actor.
Oh, what did you enact?
I did enact Julius Caesar. I was killed at the Capitol. Brutus killed me.
Oh, it was a brute part of him to kill so capital a calf there. Be the players ready?
Aye, my lord, they stay upon your patience.
Hither, my dear Hamlet, sit by me.
No, good mother. Here's metal more attractive.
Oh, do you mark that?
Lady, shall I lie in your lap?
Oh, my lord.
I mean my head upon your lap.
Aye, my lord.
Oh, do you think I meant country matters?
I think nothing, my lord.
Oh, that's a fair thought, to lie between maids' legs.
What is, my lord?
Nothing.
You are merry, my lord.
Oh, I?
Aye, my lord.
Oh, look, God, your only jig maker. What should a man do but be merry? For look you how cheerfully my mother looks, and my father died within these 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my lord.
So long? Oh, nay then, let the devil wear black, for I'll have a suit of sables. Oh, heavens, died 2 months ago and not forgotten yet? Then there's hope a great man's memory may outlive his life half a year.
For us and for our tragedy, here stooping to your clemency, we beg your hearing patiently.
Is this a prologue or the posy of a ring?
Brief, my lord.
As woman's love.
Now 30 dozen moons with borrowed sheen about the world have times 12 30s been, since love our hearts and hymen did our hands unite commutual in most sacred bands. So many journeys may the sun and moon make us again count, or ere love be done. But woe is me, you are so sick of late, so far from cheer and from your former state, that I distrust you. Yet though I discomfort you, my lord, it nothing must. Faith, I must leave thee, love, and shortly too. My operant powers their functions leave to do, and thou shalt live in this fair world behind, honored, beloved, and happily one is kind, for husband shalt thou, oh, confound the rest! Such love must needs be treason in my breast. In second husband, let me be accursed. None wed the second, but who killed the first?
Oh, that's wormwood.
The instances that second marriage move are base respects of thrift, but none of love. A second time I kill my husband dead, when second husband kisses me in bed. I do believe you think what now you speak. But what we do determine, oft we break. What to ourselves in passion we propose, the passion ending doth the purpose lose. So think thou wilt no second husband wed, but die thy thoughts when thy first lord is dead. Nor earth to me give food, nor heaven light. Sport and repose lock from me day and night. Both here and hence pursue me lasting strife, if once a widow, ever I be wife.
If she should break it now.
'Tis deeply sworn. Sweet, oh, leave me here a while. My spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile this tedious day with sleep. Sleep, rock thy brain, and never come mischance between us twain.
Madam, how like you this play?
The lady protests too much, methinks.
Oh, but she'll keep her word.
Have you heard the argument? Is there no offence in it?
No, they do but jest, poison and jest. No offense in the world.
What do you call the play?
The Mousetrap. Marry, how? Tropically. This play is the image of a murder done in Vienna. 'Tis a knavish piece of work. What of that? Your Majesty and we that have free souls. He touches us not. Oh, this is one Lucianus, nephew to the king. Begin, murderer.
Thoughts black. Hands apt, drugs fit, and time agreeing. Confederate season, else no creature seeing. Thou mixture rank of midnight weeds collected, with Hecate's band thrice blasted, thrice infected. Thy natural magic and die properly, on wholesome life usurp immediately.
He poisons him in the garden for his estate. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzago's wife.
The king rises.
How fares, my lord?
Give o'er the play.
Give me some light.
Lights!
Away!
Lights! Lights!
Oh, good Horatio! I'll take the ghost's word for £1,000, didst perceive?
Very well, my lord.
Upon the talk of the poisoning?
Yes, I did very well note him.
Come, some music! Come, the recorders!
Good my lord, vouchsafe me a word with you. The queen, your mother, in most great affliction of spirit, hath sent me to you. Your behaviour hath struck her into amazement and admiration.
Oh, wonderful son that can so astonish a mother.
She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey, were she 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?
My lord, you once did love me.
Though I do still by these pickers and stealers.
Good my lord, what is your cause of distemper?
Sir, I lack advancement.
How can that be when you have the voice of the king himself for your succession in Denmark?
Aye, but sir, while the grass grows, the proverb is something musty. Oh, the recorders. Let me see one. To withdraw with you, why do you go about to recover the wind of me as if you would drive me into a toil?
Oh, my lord, if my duty be too bold, my love is too unmannerly.
I do not well understand that. Will you play upon this pipe?
My lord, I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
I know no touch of it, my lord.
It is as easy as lying. If you govern these ventages with your fingers and thumb, give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse most eloquent music. Look you, these are the stops.
But these cannot command, I command to any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill.
Oh, why, look you now, how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me, you would seem to know my stops, you would plug out the heart of my mystery, you would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass, and there is much music, excellent voice in this little organ, yet cannot you make it speak? It's blood. Do you think I'm easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you can fret me, yet you cannot play upon me. Oh, God bless you, sir.
My lord, the queen would speak with you, and presently.
And I will come to my mother by and by. 'Tis now the very witching time of night when churchyards yawn and hell itself breathes out contagion to this world. Oh, now could I drink hot blood and do such bitter business as the day would quake to look on. Oh, soft now, Tim, my mother. Oh, heart, lose not thy nature. Let me be cruel, not unnatural. I will speak daggers to her, but use none. How in my words soever she be sent, to give them seals never. My soul consent.
My lord, he's going to his mother's closet. Behind the arras, I'll convey myself to hear the process. Fare you well, my liege. I'll call upon you ere you go to bed and tell you what I know.
Thanks, dear my lord. Oh, my offence is rank, it smells to heaven. It hath the eldest primal curse upon it, a brother's murder. Pray can I not? My fault is past, but oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder. I cannot be, since I'm still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder. My crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the offence. Ah, wretched state. Oh, bosom black as death. Oh, limed soul that struggling to be free art more engaged. Oh, help, angels, make us say. Bow stubborn knees and heart with strings of steel to be soft as sinews of the newborn babe. All may be well.
Now might I do it. And now he's praying, and now I'll do it. And so he goes to heaven, and so am I revenged. That would be scanned. A villain kills my father, and for that I, his sole son, do the same villain send to heaven. Am I then revenged to take him in the purging of his soul when he is fit and seasoned for his passage? No! Up, sword. And know thou a more horrid hent when he is drunk asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at gaming, swearing, or about some act that has no relish of salvation in it. Then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black as hell whereto it goes. My mother stays. This physic but prolongs thy sickly days.
My words fly up, my thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go.
He will come straight. Look, you lay home to him.
I'll warrant you, fear me not. Withdraw, I hear him coming.
Now, mother, what's the matter?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Go, you question with a wicked tongue.
Why, how now, Hamlet?
What's the matter now?
Have you forgot me?
No, by the Rude, not so. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife. And would it were not so, you are my mother.
Nay, then, I'll set those to you that can speak.
Now, come and sit you down. You shall not budge. You go not till I set you up a glass where you may see the inmost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me? Help!
What? Help! Help!
Oh, now a rat? Dead for a ducat, dead!
Oh, I am slain.
Oh, me! What hast thou done?
Nay, I know not, is it the king?
What a rash and bloody deed is this?
A bloody deed? Almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
As kill a king?
Aye, lady, it was my word. Oh, thou wretched, rash, intruding fool. Oh, farewell. Thou find'st to be too busy is some danger. Leave wringing of your hands. Peace, sit you down and let me wring your heart.
What have I done? Thou darest wag their tongue. In noise so rude against me.
Such an act that blurs the grace and blush of modesty, calls virtue hypocrite, takes off the rose from the fair forehead of an innocent love and sets a blister there.
Aye, me, what act that roars so loud and thunders in the index?
Oh, look here, upon this picture, and on this, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See what a grace was seated on this brow, a combination and a form indeed, where every god did seem to set his seal to give the world assurance of a man. This was your husband. Look you now what follows. Here is your husband, like a mildewed ear blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? You cannot call it love. For at your age, the heyday in the blood is tame. It's humble and waits upon the judgment. And what judgment would step from this to this? Oh, shame, where is thy blush?
Oh, Hamlet, speak no more. Thou turn'st mine eyes into my very soul, and there I see such black and grained spots, I will not leave their tinct.
Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love over the nasty sty.
Oh, speak no more to me. These words, like daggers, enter in mine ears. No more, sweet Hamlet.
A murderer and a villain, a slave that is not 20th part the tithe of your precedent lord. A vice of kings.
No more.
A king of shreds and patches. Save me and hover o'er me with your wings, you heavenly guards. What would your gracious figure?
Alas, he's mad.
Do not you come to your tardy son to chide that lapsed in time and passion lets go by the important acting of your dread command? Oh, say.
Do not forget, this visitation is but to whet thy almost blunted purpose. But look, amazement on thy mother sits. Oh, step between her and her fighting soul. Speak to her, Hamlet.
How is it with you, lady?
Alas, how is't with you? What that you do bend your eye on vacancy, and with the incorporeal air do hold discourse? Oh, gentle son! Upon the heat and flame of distemper, sprinkle cool patience. Whereon do you look?
On him, on him! Look you how pale he glares. Oh, do not look on me. Lest with this piteous action you convert my stern effects, then what I have to do will want true color, tears perchance for blood.
To whom you speak this?
Do you see nothing there?
Nothing at all. Yet all that is I see.
Nor did you nothing hear?
No, nothing but ourselves.
Oh, I look you there. Look how he steals away. My father in his habit as he lived. Look where he goes, even now, out at the portal.
It is the very coinage of your brain.
No, it is not madness that I have uttered. Bring me to the test, and I, the matter, will reword which madness would gamble from. Confess yourself to heaven. Repent what's past, avoid what is to come, and do not spread the compost on the weeds to make them rancor.
Oh, Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Oh, throw away the worser part of it, and live the purer with the other half. Good night. But go not to mine uncle's bed. Assume a virtue if you have it not. Refrain tonight, and that shall lend a kind of easiness to the next abstinence, the next more easy. So again, good night. I must be cruel only to be kind. Thus bad begins and worse remains behind. One word more, good lady.
What shall I do?
Not this by no means that I bid you do. Let the bloat king tempt you again to bed. Pinch wanton on your cheek, call you his mouse, and let him for a pair of reechy kisses or paddling in your neck with his damned fingers make you ravel all this matter out, that I essentially am not in madness, but mad in craft.
Be thou assured, if words be made of breath, and breath of life, I have no life to breathe, what thou hast said to me.
I must to England, you know that.
Alack, I had forgot. So concluded on.
There's letters sealed, and my two schoolfellows, whom I will trust as I will adders fanged, they bear the mandate. This man shall send me packing. I'll lug the guts into the neighbor room. Mother, good night. Indeed, this counselor is now most still, most secret, and most grave, who was in life a foolish, prating knave. Come, sir, to draw toward an end with you. Good night, mother.
Ah, my good lord, what I have seen tonight.
What, Gertrude? How does Hamlet?
Mad as the sea and wind, when both contend, which is the mightier. In his lawless fit, behind the arras, hearing something stir, whips out his rapier, cries, a rat, and in this Danish apprehension, kills the unseen good old man.
Oh, heavy deed. It had been so with us had we been there. His liberty is full of threats to all, to you yourself, to us, to everyone. Where is he gone?
To draw apart the body he hath killed, over whom his very madness, like some ore among a mineral of metal's base, shows itself pure. He weeps for what is done.
Now, Hamlet, where's Polonius?
Supper.
At supper where?
Not where he eats, but where he is eaten. A certain convocation of politic worms are eaten at him.
Alas, alas.
A man may fish with the worm that hath eat of a king, and cat of the fish that hath fed of that worm.
What dost thou mean by this?
Nothing but to show you how a king may go a progress through the guts of a beggar.
Where is Polonius?
In heaven. Send hither to see. If your messenger find him not there, seek him in the other place yourself. But indeed, if you find him not within this month, you shall nose him as you go up the stairs into the lobby.
Go seek him there.
He will stay till ye come.
Hamlet, this deed, for thine especial safety, which we do tender as we dearly grieve for that which thou hast done, must send thee hence with fiery quickness. Therefore prepare thyself. The bark is ready and the wind at help, the associates tend, and everything is bent for England.
For England.
Aye, Hamlet.
Good. Farewell, dear mother.
Thy loving father, Hamlet.
My mother. Father and mother is man and wife is one flesh, so my mother. Come, for England.
And England thou mayst not coldly set our sovereign process, which imports at full, by letters congruing to that effect, the present death of Hamlet. Do it, England, for like the hectic in my blood he rages, and thou must cure me, till I know 'tis done. Howe'er my haps, my joys were ne'er begun.
I will not speak with her.
He speaks much of her father, says she hears there's tricks in the world, and hems and beats her heart. 'Twere good she were spoken with, for she may strew dangerous conjectures in ill-breeding minds.
Come in. To my sick soul, as in sin's true nature is, each toy seems prologue to some greater miss.
Where is the beauteous majesty of Denmark?
How now, Ophelia?
Say you? Nay, but pray you, Mark. He is dead and gone, lady. He is dead and gone. At his heels a grass-green turf, at his heels a stone.
Nay, but Ophelia.
See you, Mark. White his shroud as mountain snow.
Yes, look here, my lord.
Sweet flowers, which bewept to the grave did go, with true love showers.
How do you, pretty lady?
God healed you. They say the owl was a baker's daughter. Lord, we know what we are, but not what we may be. God be at your table.
Conceit upon her father.
Hear you? Let's have no more words of this, but when they ask you what it means, say you this: tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, and in the morning betime, and I am a maid at your window to be your Valentine. Then up he rose, and donned his clothes, and up the chamber door. Let in the maid that out a maid never departed more.
Pretty Ophelia.
Indeed, la, without an oath, I'll make an end on. By Chiz and by Saint Charity, alack and by shame, young men will do it. If they come to it, by cock they are to blame. Quoth she, before you married me, you promised me to wed. He answers, so would I had done by yonder sun, and thou hadst not come to my bed.
How long has she been thus?
Oh, I hope all will be well. We must be patient. I cannot choose but weep to think they should lay him in the cold ground. My brother shall know it. And so I thank you for your good counsel. Come, my coach. Good night, ladies. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night. Good night.
Horatio, follow her close. Give her good watch, I pray you. Oh, this is the poison of deep grief. It springs all from her father's death. Oh, Gertrude. Gertrude. When sorrows come, they come not single spies, but in battalions. Her brother is in secret, come from France, feeds on his wonder, keeps himself in clouds, and wants not buzzers to infect his ear with pestilent speeches of his father's death.
Hey, come on.
What's the matter?
Save yourself, my lord. The ocean o'erpeering of his list eats not the flats with more impetuous haste than young Laertes in a riotous head o'erbears your officers. The rabble call him lord. They cry, choose we, Laertes shall be king. Caps, hands, and tongues applaud it to the clouds. Laertes shall be king. Laertes...
Oh, thou vile king! Where's my... Give me my father.
Calmly, good Laertes.
Oh... Where is my father?
Dead?
But not by him.
Let him demand his fill.
How came he dead? I'll not be juggled with. Oh, let come what comes, only I'll be revenged most thoroughly for my father.
Good Laertes, that I am guiltless of your father's death, and am most sensible in grief for it, it shall as level to your judgment pierce as day to your eye.
How now? What noise is that? Dear maid. Kind sister, sweet Ophelia. Oh, heavens. Is it possible a young maid's wit should be as moral as an old man's life?
Bore him bare-face on the bier. Hey, nonny, nonny, hey, nonny, 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 and in his grave rain many a tear. Fare you well, my dove.
Hast thou thy wits, and did persuade revenge, it could not move thus.
There's rosemary. That's for remembrance. Pray, love, remember. And there's some pansies. That's for thoughts.
A document in madness. Thoughts and remembrance fitted.
There's fennel for you and columbines. There's rue for you. And for me too. We may call it Herb Grace of Sundays. Oh, you must wear your rue with a difference. There's a daisy. I would give you some violets, but they withered all when my father died. They say he made a good end. And will he not come again? And will he not come again? No, no, he is dead. Go to thy deathbed. He never will come again. His beard was as white as snow. All flaxen was his poll. He is gone. He is gone, and we cast away moan. God have mercy on his soul. And on all Christian souls, I pray, God. God be with you. God be with you.
Do you see this? Oh, God.
Laertes, I must commune with your grief, or you deny me right. Go but apart, make choice of whom your wisest friends you will, and they shall hear and judge twixt you and me. If by direct or by collateral hand they find us touched, we will our kingdom give, our crown, our life, and all that we call ours to you in satisfaction. But if not, be you content to lend your patience to us, and we shall jointly labour with your soul to give it due content.
Let this be so. His means of death, his obscure funeral, no trophy, sword, nor hatchment o'er his bones, no noble right, nor formal ostentation. Cry to be heard as 'twere from heaven to earth, that I must call it in question.
So you shall, and where the offence is, let the great axe fall. I pray you, go with me.
There's a letter for you, sir. It comes from the ambassador that was bound for England.
Horatio, ere we were 2 days old at sea, a pirate, a very warlike appointment gave us chase. Finding ourselves too slow of sail, we put on a compelled valor, and in the grapple I boarded them. On the instant they got clear of our ship, so I alone became their prisoner. They have dealt with me like thieves of mercy, but they knew what they did. I am to do them a good turn. Let the king have the letters I have sent, and repair thou to me with as much speed as thou wouldst fly death. I have words to speak in thine ear, will make thee dumb. This good fellow will bring thee where I am. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern hold their course for England. Of them I have much to tell thee. Farewell. He that thou knowest thine, Hamlet. Come. I will give way for these your letters, and do it the speedier, that you may direct me to him from whom you brought them.
Now must your conscience my acquittance seal, and you must put me in your heart for friends, sith you have heard, and with a knowing ear, that he which hath your noble father slain pursued my life.
And so have I a noble father lost, a sister driven into desperate terms, whose worth, if praises may go back again, stood challenger on mount of all the age for her perfections. But my revenge will come.
Letters, my lord, from Hamlet. This to your majesty, this to the queen.
Laertes, you shall hear them. Leave us. High and mighty, you shall know I am set naked on your kingdom. Tomorrow shall I beg leave to see your kingly eyes, when I shall, first asking your pardon thereunto, recount the occasion of my sudden and more strange return. Hamlet. What should this mean? Are all the rest come back?
Know you the hand?
Well, 'tis Hamlet's character, naked. And in a postscript here, he says, alone. Can you advise me?
I'm lost in it, my lord. Let him come. It warms the very sickness in my heart that I shall live and tell him to his teeth, thus didst thou.
If it be so, Laertes, as how should it be so, how otherwise will you be ruled by me?
Aye, my lord. So you will not o'errule me to a peace.
To thine own peace. It falls out right. What would you undertake to show yourself your father's son in deed more than in words?
Oh, to cut his throat in the church.
No place indeed should murder sanctuarize. Revenge should have no bounds. But good Laertes, will you do this? Keep close within your chamber. Hamlet returned, shall know you are come home. We'll put on those shall praise your excellence and set a double varnish on the fame of skill you have in foil. Bring you in fine together and wager on your heads. He being remiss, most generous and free from all contriving, will not peruse the foils, so that with ease or with a little shuffling, you may choose a sword unbaited, and in a pass of practice, requite him for your father.
I will do it. And for that purpose, I will anoint my sword upon an unction of a mountebank, so mortal that but dip a knife in it where it draws blood. No cataplasm so rare can save the thing from death that is but scratched withal. I'll touch my point with this contagion, that if I gall him slightly, it may be death.
Let's further think on this. If this should fail, and that our drift look through our bad performance, 'twere better not assayed. Therefore, this project should have a back or second that might hold, if this should blast in proof. Let me see. When in your motion you are hot and dry, make your bouts more violent to that end, and that he calls for drink. I'll have prepared him a chalice for the nonce, whereon but sipping, if he by chance escape your venom stuck, our purpose may hold there. How now, sweet queen?
One woe doth tread upon another's heels, so fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
Drowned? Oh, where?
There is a willow grows aslant a brook that shows his hoar leaves in the glassy stream. There with fantastic garlands did she come. There on the pendant boughs her coronet weeds, clambering to hang an envious silk sliver broke. When down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping brook, her clothes spread wide, and mermaid-like, a while they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old tunes, as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued unto that element. But long it could not be, till that her garments, heavy with their drink, pulled the poor wench from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas, then, she's drowned.
Drowned. Drowned.
Too much of water hast thou, poor Ophelia. Therefore I forbid my tears. But yet it is our trick. Nature her custom holds. Oh, let shame say what it will. When these are gone, the women will be out. But you, my lord, I have a speech of fire that fain would blaze, but this folly drowns it.
She to be buried in Christian burial that willfully seeks her own salvation.
May I tell thee she is?
What is he that builds stronger than either the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
The gallows maker, for that outlives 1,000 tenants.
I like thy wit well, yeah. In good faith, the gallows does well. But how does it well? It does well to those that do ill. Now, you do ill to say that the gallows are built stronger there than the church. Ergal, the gallows may do well to thee. To it again.
Who builds stronger than a mason, a shipwright, or a carpenter?
Tell me that and unyoke.
Mass, I cannot tell.
Faith, cudgel your brains no more about it, and your dull ass will not mend his pace with beating him. When you're asked this question next, say, a grave maker. The houses that he makes last till doomsday. Go, get thee in and fetch me a stoup of liquor. Oh, Danny lass, the pipes are calling.
Has this fellow no feeling of his business that he sings at grave making?
Down the mountainside.
What? That skull had a tongue in it and could sing once. How the name jams it to the ground? Huh? Yeah, I will speak with this fellow. Whose grave's this, Sirrah?
Mine, sir.
I think it be thine. Indeed, for thou liest in it.
You lie out on it, and therefore it is not yours. For my own part, I do not lie in it, and yet it is mine.
Thou dost lie in it, to be in it and say it is thine. 'Tis for the dead, not for the quick, therefore thou liest.
'Tis a quick lie, sir. 'Twill away again from me to you.
What man dost thou dig it for?
No man, sir.
What woman then?
None, neither.
No, God. Who is to be buried in it?
Oh, one that was a woman, but alas, sir, she did.
How absolute the knave is. We must speak by the card, or equivocation will undo us. How long hast thou been a grave maker?
Of all the days in the year, I came to it that same day that our young Hamlet was born. He that is mad and sent to England.
Aye, marry, why was he sent into England?
Because he was mad.
Okay. How came he mad?
Very strangely, they say.
How strangely?
Well, faith with losing his wits.
And upon what ground?
Here, in Denmark.
Ugh. How long will a man lie in the earth ere he rot?
Faith, if he be not rotten before he die, as we have many pocket courses nowadays, will scarce hold the laying in. He'll last you some 8 year or 9 year. Tanner will last you 9 year.
Why he more than another?
Why, sir, his hide is so tanned with his trade that he can hold out his water for a while. And your water, sir, is a horse in decayer, is a sore decayer of your horse and dead body. Here's the skull now. Hath lain in the earth 23 years.
Whose was it?
Pestilence on him from her mad rogue. He poured a flagon of Rhenish on my head once. This skull, sir, was Yorick's skull. The king's master.
This?
Eating that.
Let me see. Oh, alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio, a fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times. And now how abhorred in my imagination it is. My gorge rims at it. Look, here hung those lips that I have kissed I know not how oft. Ugh. Where be your jibes now? Your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment that were wont to set the table on a roar? Not one now to mock your own grinning, quite chapfallen. To what base uses we may return, Horatio. Oh, but soft a while. Here comes the king and queen. And with such maimed rites, this doth betoken the course they followed did with desperate hand fordo its own life, and 'twas of some estate. Couch we a while and mark.
What ceremony else?
That is Laertes, a very noble youth, mark.
What ceremony else?
Her obsequies have been far and large as we have warranties. Her death was doubtful, and but that great command o'ersways the order. She should in ground unsanctified have lodged till the last trumpet. For charitable prayers, shards, flints, and pebbles should be thrown on her.
Must there be no more done?
No more be done.
Lay her in the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violets spring. Tell thee, churlish priest, a ministering angel shall my sister be when thou liest howling.
What, the fair Ophelia?
Sweets to the sweet, farewell. I hope thou shalt in my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bride bed to be decked, sweet maid, and not have strewed thy grave.
Hold off the earth a while, till I have caught her once more in mine arms.
Oh, what is he whose grief bears such an emphasis, whose phrase of sorrow conjures the wandering stars and makes them stand like wonder-wounded hearers? This is I, Hamlet the Dane.
The devil take thy soul!
Oh, thou prayest not while I prithee take thy fingers from my throat.
Pluck them asunder.
Hamlet, Hamlet. Well, I will fight with him upon this theme until my eyelids will no longer wag.
Oh, my son, what theme?
I loved Ophelia. 40,000 brothers could not with all their quantity of love make up my sum. What wilt thou do for her?
But he is mad, Laertes.
For love of God, forbear him.
So show me what thou do. Would weep, would fight, would fast, would tear thyself, would drink up Isel, would eat a crocodile? I'll do it. Dost thou come here to whine, to outface me with leaping in her grave? Be buried quick with her, and so will I. What is the reason that you use me thus? I loved you ever. But it is no matter. Let Hercules himself do what he may. The cat will mew, and the dog will have his day.
Strengthen your patience in our last night's speech. We'll put the matter to the present push. Good Gertrude, set some watch over your son. This grave shall have a living monument. An hour of quiet shortly shall we see. Till then, in patience our proceeding be.
So much for this. Sir, now you shall see the other. You do remember all the circumstance?
Remember it, my lord.
Sir, in my heart there was a kind of fighting that would not let me sleep. Up from my cabin groped I to find out them, had my desire, fingered their packet, and in fine withdrew to mine own room again, making so bold, my fears forgetting manners, to unseal their grand commission, where I found, Horatio, a royal knavery, an exact command importing Denmark's health and England's too, that on the supervised no leisure bated, no, not to stay the grinding of the axe, my head should be struck off.
Is't possible?
Yeah, here's the commission. Read it at more leisure. I sat me down, devised a new commission, wrote it fair, an earnest conjuration from the king, as England was his faithful tributary, that on the view and knowing of these contents, without debatement further, more or less, he should the bearers put to sudden death, no shriving time allowed.
So Guildenstern and Rosencrantz go to it.
They are not near my conscience. Their defeat does by their own insinuation grow.
Why, what a king is this?
Lordship is very welcome back to Denmark.
I humbly thank you, sir.
My lord, his majesty bade me signify to you that he has laid a great wager on your head. Sir, he's newly come to the court Laertes. You're not ignorant of what Excellence Laertes is with his weapon.
What's his weapon?
Rapier and dagger.
That's two of his weapons, but well.
Huh, all right. The king, sir, hath laid that in a dozen passes between yourself and him, he shall not exceed you 3 hits. He has laid on, well, for 9. And it would come to immediate trial if your lordship would vouchsafe an answer.
Sir, I will walk here in the hall. If it please his majesty, 'tis the breathing time of day with me. Let the foils be brought. The gentleman willing and the king hold his purpose, I will win for him and I can. If not, I will gain nothing but my shame in the odd hits.
Shall I deliver you so?
To this effect, sir, after what flourish your nature will.
And my duty to your lordship.
Yours.
You will lose this wager, my lord.
I do not think so. Since he went into France, I have been in continual practice. I shall win at the odds. But thou wouldst not think how ill all's here about my heart. But it is no matter.
Nay, good my lord.
It is but foolery.
If your mind dislike anything, obey it. I will forestall their repair hither and say you are not fit.
Not a whit. We defy augury. There's a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. The readiness is all. Since no man has aught of what he leaves, what is it to leave betimes?
Come, Hamlet, come and take this hand from me.
Give me your pardon, sir. I've done you wrong, but pardon it as you are a gentleman. What I have done that might your nature honor, an exception roughly awake, I here proclaim was madness.
I'm satisfied in nature. I do receive your offered love like love, and will not wrong it.
I embrace it freely, and will this brother's wager freely play. Give us the foil.
One for me.
Cousin Hamlet, you know the wager.
Very well, my lord. Your grace hath laid the odds on the weaker side.
I do not fear it. I've seen you both. But since he's bettered, we have therefore odds.
This is too heavy. Let me see another.
This likes me well. These foils have all the length.
Aye, my good lord.
Set me the stoups of wine upon that table. If Hamlet give the first or second hit, or quit in answer of the third exchange, let all the battlements their ordnance fire. The king shall drink to Hamlet's better health breath, and in the cup an union shall he throw. Come, begin, and you the judges, bear a wary eye.
Come on, sir.
Come, my lord.
1.
No.
Judgment.
I hit a very palpable hit.
Well, again.
Stay. Give me a drink. Hamlet, this pearl is thine. Here's to thy health. Give him the cup.
I'll play this bout first. Set it by a while. Come. Ha! Another hit. What say you?
A touch, I confess.
our son shall win.
Here, Hamlet, take my napkin, rub thy brows. The queen carouses to thy fortune, Hamlet.
Good madam.
Gertrude, do not drink.
I will, my lord. Pray you pardon me.
It is the poisoned cup. It is too late.
I dare not drink yet, madam, by and by.
Let me wipe thy face.
My lord, I'll hit him now.
I do not think it.
And yet, it's almost against my conscience.
Come, for the third, Laertes, you do but dally. I pray you pass with your best violence. I am afeard you make a wanton of me.
Oh, say you so? Come on.
Hey, another way.
How about you now?
Hey, part them, they're incensed.
Nay, come again.
Look to the queen there. Ho! Hey, how is it, Laertes? They bleed on both sides. How is it? My lord?
No, the drink. Drink. Oh, my dear Hamlet. Drink. I'm poisoned.
Oh, villainy. Oh, let the door be locked. Treachery, seek it out.
Oh, well, I'm justly killed with mine own treachery. Ah, it is here, Hamlet. Hamlet, thou art slain? No medicine in the world can do thee good. Indeed, there is not a half hour of life. A treacherous instrument is in your hand, unbaited and envenomed. The foul practice hath turned itself on me, lo. Here I lie, never to rise again. Thy mother's poisoned. I can no more. The king's to blame.
Point. Then venom too. Then venom, do thy work.
Treason!
Oh, yet defend me, friends. I am hurt.
Here, thou incestuous, murderous, damned Dane, drink of this potion. Is thy union here? Follow my mother. How dost Laertes?
He is dead, my lord.
You that pale and tremble at this chance, that are but mutes or audience to this act. Oh, had I but time. Oh, as the spell Sergeant Death is strict in his arrest. Oh, I could tell you. Oh, but let it be. Horatio, I am dead. Thou livest. Report me and my cause aright to the unsatisfied.
Never believe it. I am more an antique Roman than a Dane. Here's yet some liquor left.
As thou art a man, give me the cup. Let go, by heaven, I'll have it. Oh, good Horatio, would a wounded name think standing thus unknown shall live behind me. If thou didst ever hold me in thy heart, absent thee from felicity a while, and in this harsh world draw thy breath in pain to tell my story. The rest is silence.
Now cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest.
done, y'all. That was gorgeous. Just a round of applause. That was awesome. Thank you all so much for joining us for Hamlet, and thank you all so much for making me cry while I made my dinner. That was beautiful. We're gonna do as is tradition here. We have 3 standard questions that we're gonna ask. As we do that, if you out there on YouTube have questions you want to ask, please pop those in the YouTube chat. And the grave digging clown will go chat digging for your questions. See what I did there, Dan? Yeah. Oh yeah. Dhruv, you're muted, and I'll keep muting you. I don't like you.
I like that.
Also, after we're done with this Q&A, we're going to pop into the company pub on Zoom, which is exclusively for our Patreon supporters. So if you enjoyed what you saw and you want to come and have an extra hour or so of convo with us, you can go to patreon.com/Shakespeare Happy Hours. And if you are able to support us at the well or the top shelf level, even during this hour, we'll be monitoring and send you a link to join us in there. So we hope you will consider doing such a thing. But in the meantime, the first question: what did you learn about the play that you didn't know before? First to our actors here on the Zoom, and then to you on YouTube. What did you learn about Hamlet that you didn't know before?
Something that struck me for the first time. I mean, I thought I knew this play inside out, but something that's never really hit me before is how it comes from a world where someone can really believe in God and yet still do terrible things. And that's just passed me by every time. You know, the fact that Claudius really is trying to pray. And yet, even though he believes in a God and all that stuff, he doesn't do the stuff anyway.
It doesn't stop him.
Nah.
They teach that course at Liberty University.
Say that again, Joel.
How they teach that course at Liberty University, how to have that mental split.
Right.
Anybody else? Follow that up. Did you get anything on the YouTube chat on that one?
We are still in Accolade City in the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
There's bravos and claps and yeses and tears. That was just the best. The YouTube's being gentle and kind at the moment. Let's see. A reminder that Claudius, like Hamlet, has a certain flair for speech in response to what was just said by Colin.
Yeah.
Loves to chat.
An observation not about the question, but about the Q&A. I'm getting an inside the actor's studio vibe from the standard questions. So there's that.
We are available to revive inside the actor studio.
Inside the studio apartment.
That's right. Yeah.
There was a. Oh, never mind. That's for something else. There was a thing in the Zoom chat to remind someone of something that popped out. That's a different question. Sorry.
Well, then let's pop on to the second question, because it looks like some answers along those lines are already popping in the chat. What image, phrase, or word from the play popped out to you today? First to y'all here in the acting company, and then to y'all on the YouTube chat. What image, phrase, or word from the play? Dhruv.
Didn't realize you cut me being pardoned. Looks like I'm going to hell.
No, it's in there.
It's in. Did we just?
You missed
version. Laertes is going to hell.
It's a bold choice.
Selective memory, Dhruv. Selective memory.
Well, hell is the imagery I'd like to think about. In reference to that question. Thank you. That'll be all from me.
Cataplasm. I've never heard that word until today, I guess.
Is it in Beetlejuice? I feel like that sounds like a Beetlejuice word. Right?
Could be.
Watch out for the cataplasm.
Wow.
Did you just bring up Beetlejuice so you could do that impression?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
100%.
Have to say, first time I think that I've ever actually seen the Gravedigger Scene literally in a graveyard, which weirdly enough, as an image of actually going, they are in a graveyard watching a funeral, and you've got two people digging the hole for someone's body. I don't think I've actually seen before. I've seen it, as a to create something theatrically that will make it work, but to literally see two people and then two more people join them actually in a place of death, I found quite interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? How if sometimes we're going, oh well, what does the play? Why do the play? And in fact, whichever play it is, there's always moments, because he covers so much ground every time he puts something down, and there are always moments that come right back at you, aren't there? Having been shielded from death for most of my life, like a lot of us, suddenly it's much more present, and which somehow helps us to connect to the time when it was written, I guess, and what it's writing about. And yeah, fantastic to actually get out there and all site specific on their ass, as you say.
It was fascinating. A couple of reasons, a couple of things. Doing clown in Winter's Tale was also called just clown, and throwing on the same costume, it reminded me, like, the first time we meet him, he's just encountered death. He's held it in his hands. He's watched death with Antigonus. And then here, the clown has death is every day. In a weird turn of events, looking at the cemetery, we drove down, and in rehearsal, we were next to the road, and I was like, this is kind of odd. There's so many people walking by and driving by and houses here. Like, can we go deeper in the cemetery? And in doing so, found this pile of dirt next to a grave for the Danielle son family. And I was like, Danny. And I was like, thanks, y'all. So that it was just one of those weird, okay, I'm gonna go back home now and run back home.
That's amazing, and makes me feel so much better that you're not going to get arrested for actually digging that hole, because I definitely thought that y'all would have just committed that much. So thank you for easing my mind.
Didn't dig the hole.
Well, any YouTube thoughts on that one?
Yeah, all sorts of stuff. King of Shreds and Patches jumped out. When sorrows come, they come not in single spies, but in battalions. I'll not be juggled with. What a piece of work is man. Quintessence.
Oh, Dan, you left out the most important thing. What a piece of work is man. Picard to Q in Star Trek: The Next Generation. Thank you very much, Adam Andrew.
I honestly thought that was like a cat that walked across the keyboard. I didn't know what those words meant. Picard and Q to something is what I thought that was. Star Trek: Next Generation, of course. Cuts his throat in a church. I must be cruel in order to be kind. All sorts of stuff popped up for folks today.
Beautiful. Well, then that brings us to our last of our questions. Why does this play matter right now? Why does Hamlet matter on May 6th of 2020? To the actors first, and then to you in the YouTube chat.
I think it's really good to hear a play that's full of quotes.
Mm-hmm.
Just drip, drip, drip. Stuff lands. Just keep throwing it out at us. We'll be fine then.
I'll second that, Colin. That's such a good call, because it felt beyond, the many things that you could say, I feel like, that I want to say. It felt really nice and nostalgic to live in this play that feels familiar, and just having that moment to be like, okay, here's a story we know. Let's settle in and let's have a story.
And we've mentioned before the lack of a director or designer's vision that goes, here's why it's relevant, allows us to make the connections in a way that I suspect in some ways is closer to the spirit in which it was written and played originally. I say, because I'm nearly old enough to have been there, just missed it by 10 years.
And there's a beauty to its there is a timelessness to its relevance in the sense of it's a lot of people struggling. It's a lot of people really, really fucking struggling and trying to hold on to something and to find something and to find some meaning. Hamlet's desperately trying to find meaning in his life. Claudius is trying to find some kind of solidity and meaning in the new position that he's forced himself into by killing his own brother. And yeah, it's not necessarily directly linked to anyone's specific life at any one time, but that desperation to find some kind of human meaning in one's own life, I think, is always going to be relevant. And you could argue, especially now, if you're stuck indoors on your own, you know, you could argue there's a link to mental health, and then being, if you're stuck indoors on your own or within a family you're not happy with. I mean, there's certainly a hell of a lot of people out there right now who are stuck in very, very, very shitty families, and they're stuck at home in that situation that they're not happy with. You could argue there's a link there, but I think you could pick around for hours and find links all over the place. But the fact is, of what was already said, is that there's just a beautiful, or not even beautiful, a kind of horrible, wonderful story that we sort of know, or if you don't know, you can just sit back and enjoy it for a bit and escape.
And always is an answer that is to all of these readings is that we get to come together and do it at this particular time, and how fun it is to see the untraditional casting with women as men and men as women. And somehow I've seen this play so many times, but still haven't quite seen it as bended as this. So that was really cool.
All right. Do we have any questions from
YouTube?
the...
Yeah, I thought something about the familiarity of this play makes me feel more connected to everyone else watching tonight.
Cool.
That was cool. A question on YouTube from Dan Bonos. A question for Danny. What was it like not just to revisit a role, but to revisit this role?
That's it. I don't have words for that. I have this is the most important thing I had ever done thus far in my career. So being able to do it again with this group of people during this time, especially, it was really special. It was really great. And I did it years ago, so I'm a different person now. So there's always that of just like how I hear everything differently, and everything has a different meaning for me now. But yeah, I needed this. Thanks for watching.
Was there still an echo in your head of when you did it before?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And was that a distracting echo, or was it quite comforting?
It helped a lot, actually. Yeah, it wasn't distracting at all. I don't think it was. I actually found myself like not looking at the script and like saying lines I didn't know I knew, and I was like, oh, whoa, where are we? But I have to like come back. So it's still in there. It's very much still like in my body, which is cool. I would hope to do it again. I'll keep doing it. I'm gonna keep doing it.
Got another question from the YouTube chat. Is Hamlet actually a soap opera?
I'd say pretty much every one of Shakespeare's plays is a soap opera in some form.
Yeah, there's a lot of people doing a lot of feeling.
Am I frozen or no? Okay.
No, I'm just looking at what Dhruv's doing. Confused.
Oh, I thought was Harry about to say something?
It felt like it was.
Oh, I think Harry may have frozen.
Oh, I think sorry. I was just going to say the only thing that's different is that I don't know if we'll be watching, you know, episodes of EastEnders in 400 years' time. It's like
I will be. You're all welcome to come over.
Really now. Well,
And you still won't understand what they're saying. You'll still need subtitles.
I feel like on what Harry was saying about EastEnders, it's famous in the UK, every end of episode, the cliffhanger, and it's called a duff duff moment because that's where the drums come in. And it goes duff, 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 theme song. I feel like with Hamlet, there are loads of those.
We should have put them in.
I was doing them. I just left my mic muted.
Okay.
That's the premium experience. You can stand outside with your mask on and hear the drum rolls.
It is full of cliffhangers, especially, I don't know what you think, Colin, but especially for Claudio. Just every time he finishes a scene, there's something shit about to happen to him, or he's having to deal with some problem.
Yeah, and you've made me think now, there's always that discussion with Hamlet, isn't there? Like, where should we put the interval? Because there's so many good places that you could just leave them hanging.
Well,
a good pub question.
I'm leaving them hanging. Yeah, exactly. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for your beautiful performances. That was mind-blowing. As I mentioned earlier, some of us are going to pop into that company pub. If you'd like to join us, patreon.com/Shakespeare Happy Hours. And regardless, we are back on Friday with a little-known work called As You Like It, which we hope you will. 5 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. BST. Thank you all again, and we'll see you soon. Bye.